Hey, everybody, welcome to Real Life Sci-Fi with Wade and Willie. Wade.
Willie.
This is a podcast about the paranormal and contemporary mythology. Join us on patreon.com/, Real Life Sci-Fi for access to 2 bonus episodes a week, video feeds, and more. Also, visit reallifescifi.show for all of our links. This week, we're not introducing our guest.
Yeah, don't introduce me.
He's just going to exist in the ether that is this audio medium and video. Let's see, because he doesn't want to be introduced. You've done the show, and he didn't say don't introduce me. He just wanted to you wanted to be like a 70s filmmaker, right? You wanted to be like, hey, let's show up and see what we get.
You're a mind reader. I have it written down here. Be like a 70s filmmaker.
Easy writer.
Yeah.
The rest.
Yeah.
How are you, man? We haven't seen you in a bit.
Good. And I want to point out to the viewers, look at Willie's and then look at Wade's screens.
This is bullshit because we just talked about this, and you know that this is a fallacy. This is a fallacy. He thinks I'm drab and boring, but
boring. These are words you're putting in my mouth. It's just a visual feast looking at Willie. Look. It's like miraculous, magical. And then
I think it's a bit much. I think it's a little busy.
I know I do. I always feel weird seeing my shoes. That's just where they go.
Well, my shoes are right here.
See, I look at tit for tat. You got it all covered.
Martin, how are you, man?
Good. I ended up with the dream job. Disney called me back, even though I'm 90 years old. I said, I'm too old. I can't fucking do that job. It's too hard to.
This is Phineas and Ferb, or what is it?
Yeah, they called me back. What if you did it with your daughter? Because I wrote a couple pilots with her. And so I said, okay, yeah. So now we've been working on it for a year.
Great.
What are you working on? Just the pilot? Are you doing the entire? Did they order like episodes, or did they just order a pilot?
We got guaranteed 2 seasons, so it's 2 years.
Are you fucking serious?
Is it a continuing or is it a new look?
Martin, disregard that question. Hire me.
I would in a second if I was hiring anybody. I'd hire you fucking great maniacs. You should just show up.
We can do voices too. We can both do voices. Hey, look at me. I'm Phineas.
Squeak. Squeak.
This is Ferb. He's a squeak toy. We've never seen the show.
As soon as we
got, no, I've seen it. It's pretty good.
As soon as we got the job, my dead aunt called and she asked if she could do voices.
Of course, it's the easiest job in the world.
But is it a reboot or is it a continuation?
It's a continuation of the exact same show. Every episode of every show is the same. Every story is the same.
Yeah.
They get into hijinks.
What's the platypus's name again? I forget.
Specific. Perry the platypus. The worst character on the show.
You're insulting our guest by not knowing the show.
Well, I know. I haven't seen it in a long time. I haven't seen it since before Moose was born. I used to watch that when I was an adult.
I've never seen it.
Dude, I get high and watch every show out there, man.
Well, you have
cartoons. The cartoons.
You have a child, so you have an excuse.
No, I haven't seen it since
just take it. Take it. You have the excuse. Take it. Well, that's fucking great, man. And so how far along are you?
Almost done with season 1.
And then go. How many episodes?
I don't know. Who knows?
Are you guys
12? 24? 6?
More like 20 something. Every Disney and every other company extends the length of each season so they can get free work out of you.
They chop them in half. Yeah. They call it 1B now.
As long as you don't hit 100 episodes, that's all that matters.
Just the way of the world now, that's all. But Disney's been very good with us with the money, so that's one good thing.
Well, not good enough to hire Willie and I.
They used to be famous for not.
Why don't you guys apply, you fucking jerks? Apply for the job.
Apply for what job? What job? I will apply.
You write your name down on a piece of paper. That's the start. That's the first. That's step 1.
Okay.
I mean, or you could just do what you do and just think about doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Are you insulting me? You know very little about my how dedicated I am to my work. Have you even seen all of the work things I have? Look at this is lights. I don't know. I got other work stuff, cameras down here.
Well,
Let's
I must say, you seem very together, Wade. And Willie, you seem like all over the place. I don't know what's going on with you.
Well, this is my life right here. This show right now.
Oh, good. Good.
Oh yeah, congratulations. Martin, we do something here called the WoW scale. Do you remember
Not
your
again.
WoW score? I don't remember when we had you on last.
Fuck off. The
Yeah.
WoW scale never ever was anything with me because it was a
Oh
based
yeah.
it was
You're
based
always
on
a 1 or a 0 because
it
you
was
didn't
based on
like the
belief.
way that we
That's
asked
Because
the
you don't like the
questions.
questions. All right, let's skip it.
And I
I don't
get
want to
it. I
put you
get
through
it.
that again. All right, let's skip the WoW scale. Willie, hit us with the topic.
Tonight on Real Life Sci-Fi, near-death experiences. We dive into the extraordinary tales of those who have brushed against the edge of mortality and return with incredible stories. What does it all mean? Join us as we explore the mysterious insights and profound revelations of near-death experiences in this captivating conversational journey tonight on Real Life Sci-Fi.
Martin, have you ever died? Have you ever almost died? What's the closest you've ever been to death?
I have led such a cushy life. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's been good. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's really true. It's disgusting how good my life has been.
Have you ever been in a fight?
I was in a couple fights, but I come from Boston, but I didn't
Oh,
die.
well, that's just like a Tuesday.
Yeah. And so I wasn't really a fighter. I just was in my room all the time.
Yeah, you're a nerd, right? Like you.
I just read books and I listened to records.
Radical.
What do you think of what do you think of the future? Let's say Phineas and Ferb go into 2070. What's the music? What's the music that you're hearing for that episode?
I often think about that. And I don't have a gift for prognostication, but if I had to do it, even though I'm lousy at it,
Yeah,
means that it's going to be lousy.
sure. Well, I don't know if anyone. I don't want to stop you, but it's always been lousy. If you've ever watched any movie that's based in the future, the music is always like, no, that's not going to be it.
If you're trying to get ahead, you hopefully you have the technology to create music that doesn't sound dated.
But hang on, we inadvertently bailed you out. I want to hear you do a song right now that's from the year 2070.
Well, I'm dying to do that. So let me, as a preface to that, the idea of the future of any art form generally is one of two things, as I see it. Uh, a a coming together of all different styles, right? In
Yeah,
permutations of those. And that's been kind of certainly been a characteristic of modern art. And this so that it becomes more homogenous or more acceptable for anything to go with anything else. Whereas in the past,
right.
it's been one of the examples of conservatism or old thinking would be only things that match should be together. The other part of it is that in the future, niche taste seems to expand and become more prevalent, which means things that are just different on their own. So I think in the future, there's going to be music much like what's happening right now. You have people who do rap or rhymes, which is not musical really, combined with things that are very musical, creating kind of a masterpiece. So I think we're in a place now that's a harbinger for the future of all different styles meshed together.
So we got Sammy Hagar on guitar.
There you,
Fucking
there you go.
Kid
There you,
Cudi's doing the hook.
there you go.
Lisa, you guys all know Elisa, right? She's doing the fucking verse.
There it goes. So that's
You
all I'm
got
talking about.
Obama doing speeches as the lyrics.
You are so right because and also an AI doing shit.
Banksy's in the corner describing his art.
And AI is doing some shit. And also worms are writhing, and they have at this time been able to create the writhing together of worms into musical sequences using the
Fuck.
computer, and also
Ooh.
birds together. Then they would be all merging together using a computer, much like with AI
Except for
voices.
the crows can't get along with anyone, dude.
Oh, the crows! It's so incredible seeing how
Fucking
I
crows.
intelligent.
don't
They're
know,
so
man.
smart and they're wasting all their talent.
You know what my new plan is to start carrying nuts with me and just start giving them out to crows wherever I see them
You got to be
because
on the side of crows. They remember your face.
they remember you, they recognize you, and then they bring you things. And I'm
They're
like, dude,
terrifying.
I want to like start feeding crows to see if any of them start bringing me gold, like hold up some gold and be like, this is what I
Here's how
want.
you would have to do it though. Not gold because you don't have any. But if you
They'd
gave
eat
them
it.
a peanut or whatever you're giving them, and then you also had $1 bill, and you just gave them that, it's just $1. It's an investment, Willie. Stop being such a fucking tightwad. It's
Then
just a
what
dollar.
happens?
You give it to the
What happens?
crow.
Wait, what happens?
They go off. They start Pavlovian associating the treat with the dollar, and they go, this dollar means food to me for some reason. Who was that guy? I remember it was Willie. Let's go.
As
And
long as they're going to
And
start
then they
giving them
bring
to
you
just all
dollars.
these fanny pack guys that aren't me. This guy's got a fanny pack.
Yeah, well,
I
you need
think
to move
really
on,
what
dude.
really what happens in that scenario, Wade, is absolutely something completely different than what you just prognosticated.
Well,
These stupid fucking bird brain creatures bring back a button to you. That's what happens.
if I
I
listen,
like a
Fucking
shiny
stick
thing.
your
You want the shiny thing I found? I like a shiny thing.
I'm not gonna co-sign on this, man, because I know that crows are listening, and I'm an advocate of crows. I'm an ally.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a vial of blood. They're going to start
ooh,
bringing me blood.
ooh, that's nice.
Fuck. What is
Oh
that?
my God, that would be a great vampire novel. So the guy worked with crows. He gives them a little vials of blood, and then they bring him back blood.
Bats are right there. Why wouldn't it be bats?
That's good. Oh, because crows are so smart. Bats are
Oh,
So
oh no,
big.
you're right. We'll do like the Edgar Allan Poe version of vampire.
ooh,
We'll call it the
ooh,
crows.
ooh, that's good.
Let's call it the Crows.
That's
People will
good.
think it's a sequel to the Crow.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
did make a sequel, but I think it was just called the Crow colon whatever, right?
But that makes me think of something. I recently saw The Birds. I hadn't seen it in years since I was a boy.
Justin Power, Brandon Lee.
Oh my God, it was incredible. I never even understood. It's all about just the power of nature unleashing and killing you.
Wait, what were you watching?
The birds.
Oh, yeah, okay. I only watched that once at a middle school makeout party.
What? So
I've never
half the
actually seen
people
it.
were scared and the other half were scared.
The nerds were over there watching the birds. And us cool kids were making out in the closet. I've actually never watched it. I should watch it.
I was astonished. Now, as an old man near death with one foot in the grave, I was suddenly so appreciative of the horror of it. I've got 10 years left to live, Wade. What are you talking about?
That's my dad's been saying that for 30 years.
How old is he? Like fucking 30? How old is
He's
your dad?
80. What am I? He's like 86.
Isn't he like senile now and doesn't even want to live?
No, he's got it going on. He has a twin though, who is. I
Oh,
swear to God, this is like new.
wow.
Uh and we don't like him that much, so it's okay. This isn't like you got to feel bad for me or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he was always kind of an idiot. We don't really like him.
Oh. And he
But
wants to die. He wants to die. The twin.
what's that?
The twin wants to die. Is
No,
that,
he's senile. Like he's in a
uh,
home now.
yeah, that's really sad.
Um, but I
But you
think
can't.
it's like it has to do with how much you drink and stuff. Like I think he drank a lot. I don't know.
Well, you know what? You just wrote a movie. Two twins.
I
They're
know,
both,
twins. Yeah.
they're both 90. One of them's senile, and the other one who isn't senile can translate everything he says.
Yeah, who's the fucking blockbuster actor? Two 90-year-old blockbuster. Like who's putting the butts in the seats here?
Who are
Like
the
when
guys?
you
The
throw that trailer on the
Jeremy
screen before Spider-Man, who are
Jeremy
people going,
London and
yeah.
or those twins from Terminator 2. Remember
Oh,
the
you want to get real twins?
security
Like that's
guard?
the issue. We need real
Oh,
twins.
Well, you know what? I just had a thought that I never thought before. When or if we get time machines, casting for movies is going to be incredible.
holy
You can get
shit,
you can get fucking, you know,
dude.
Jeremy Irons, who's on his deathbed, literally bring him back to do a role. The hypothetical is the casting would be amazingly broadened if
Picture
you had a
this.
time
Picture
machine.
the first movie is like, oh well, I'm playing me, I'm playing my dad, and I'm playing my son.
There it is.
Yeah, but can you imagine that set? Like three versions of you,
Yeah.
the hardest people to work with, I'm sure.
Do you think you'd make all three of you laugh, or you'd all be kind of like
Oh,
upset with each other?
it would be a constant competition, dude. It would be like, I'm the best one because I'm the oldest one. I've learned the most. And then
You'll
the young one's
see.
like, but I'm the funniest
No,
because
but I
I
think
haven't been beaten down by society yet.
Wade, the premise would be quite different though, because it's a movie and so they're acting. And I know that you're an actor, so you could actually act as if you didn't think, you know what I mean? So you could actually play the role of the son of the who's
You know what would
dummy.
suck though? You'd only
Yeah,
get
but
paid once. Not on the you guys pick which one we're paying. We can only pay one social security number.
this is where acting is you have to actually be the person before you can act as that person. You have to so if we're doing a biopic on fucking like Jimmy Carter and I
Yeah.
get the role, I have to just like physically go under surgery to become Jimmy Carter.
If you wanted to play a black man, you'd have to actually have an operation to have black skin and to do that. So you
There's like a
actually
reason those operations don't exist. No one would buy that. You
if
got
you
to
had
go the other way. You got to go
Yeah, I
get the
love that. I
easy
love
route.
that. The acceptance speech. I'm glad that I decided to be black for this movie.
Well, this is just Soul Man. Do you guys remember Soul Man from the
Yeah,
80s?
certainly
yeah.
do.
Where he,
C. Thomas Howell
yeah,
and
C. Thomas Howell, the fake Jim Carrey. He,
James Earl Jones is in it too. Yeah.
this is at the forefront of affirmative action. It's even before affirmative action became like a political like talking point.
Sure.
And he's like, well, if I'm a minority, I can get a scholarship to go to college. So he takes tanning pills and he gets really, really dark. And then he gets a scholarship. So it's like, oh man,
He
it's
goes
so
to an all black
hypocritical
school.
because it's not skewering anything. It's going like, yeah, white people should be able to go to college.
He starts dating a black girl. Yeah,
It's enjoyable for its time. If you
I
if
know,
you
dude.
if
Oh,
you
you know
watched
what's
it in a
good?
time capsule.
If you had to go back to the time machine premise, you could have your own fetus as a hand puppet. And then do a bit with it.
What
Do
the
Jerry
heck are you
Mahoney's
eating?
actual act with your own fetus.
What the fuck are you eating right now? My placenta.
The umbilical cord. The doctor didn't cut it off enough. I hate me. I hate me. Just punch it. It all gets down into some weird fucking psychological shit.
I was talking with Willie about it, and I wanted to know if we could talk about that because I'm fucked up now. I told you I'm old, as is evident.
Yeah, but you're leaning too far into it. You got to resist it, I think. But go on, go on.
I know.
Hey, wait. Hold on. I'm going to stop you.
Yeah.
I think that there is a magic in our words, and when you say you're old, your body gets older.
Yeah,
You need to like say the opposite.
I know
I'm
that's
young. I'm
true, and
healthy.
I'm
I'm
the
healthy.
skeptic.
It sounds so needy to do that, so fuck that.
No, I
I
know. I know.
I am old, so that's
It's not, but
I'm
it's
not
not.
upset
But it's
about it. I don't care about
no,
dying.
it's not. You
I
don't
don't care about
you don't have to
dying at
go
all.
the other way. You can just stop saying that you're old. You don't have to say
Oh,
I'm young.
yeah, but it's relevant to what we're talking about with near
All right,
death experiences.
go
So
on.
age is significant in this lead in to why I'm interested in
Great.
it. Because I was always interested in UFOs and all this kind of stuff. That's why we're all friends, because this show is based on that absurd type of person that actually likes that shit.
Sure.
If I'm young and I see someone saying, well, I died and then I saw God, and I'm saying, come on, fuck it, this is ridiculous. Literally, it's idiotic. Right? It's obviously a delusion. The challenge now is to people like me and let's say you, Wade.
Mm-hmm.
There's two choices when the evidence is overwhelming that something's happening. One is to just ignore it, which is way, way better, by the way. Or the other one is to actually say, oh, Jesus, could this be true in some way? How is this possible? It isn't possible. That's the plate. That's a safe point you always go back to.
Yeah.
And so anything else is what you want to go to. The real thing is to face this fucking crazy shit. So now, when there's so many videos out there, I mean, thousands of them, there's literally over 1,000 of these near-death video things.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can weed out the complete crazy people and you just click goodbye. And then you hear the ones that have the ring of truth. Even then, it's impossible. So then you have to look at some sort of a corroboration. And those are the ones that separate the adults from the children, because it's not easy to be faced with this as an actual possibility.
A lot of people that have near-death experiences, their beliefs define their experience.
Sometimes they don't, though, if they're atheists.
And those are the ones that are fascinating. When like, oh, I didn't believe this, but I saw this.
Let's just scale it back for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Describe like the most generic near-death experience and like what it had, like, well, the most common kind of version of it.
There is actually a shape to them, which is what's so also so. It's at first you think, well, that's just the nature of the brain shutting down. These things happen as delusions because we all have brains and we all die. And so the brain shut down in the same way. We have a feeling of leaving the body.
Mm-hmm.
We have a feeling of a life review, of flashing back, your life flashing, and you have a feeling of oneness with everything. So these could all be argued as just the brain fucking shutting down. Otherwise, you're faced with a preposterous, impossible alternative, which is that this is real.
What about, though, because I've also heard, and I didn't do any research because I don't know the topic until I come in.
Yeah, that's good.
But the seeing the light and seeing dead relatives, is that shared enough among them that is also a predominant?
Not everyone experiences all of these things, and there's also negative experiences too. But
oh yeah,
presence of light, tunnel of light, seeing dead relatives, definitely a major part of most people's experiences. A lot of people don't remember anything.
I'm gonna be really embarrassed because like I won't know who the fuck my dead relative is. I have such a bad memory.
Get this.
That's what some people say too. They're like, I don't know who
it's going to be very embarrassing for me. I'm going to have to be like, yeah, hey, it's you.
I remember. Remind me your name again. We don't use names here. Ah, great.
Fuck. How am I going to figure out who this is?
I think the ultimate version of that joke is that, Wade, you die and you go to heaven, and then God forgets who you are, doesn't know your name.
Oh yeah.
No, that's the opposite.
Which one are you?
That wouldn't happen to me. That wouldn't happen to me. My torture is everyone knows who I am. And I don't know who anyone is.
There you go.
It's the worst. It happens to me all the time. And I'm not saying I'm popular. I just have a horrible memory.
Some people have a thing where
a lot of people actually
can't recognize a face. I know that Penn Jillette had that, I believe.
I feel like I have it, but I also feel like it's a cop out to say that you have it. I think that's like saying that you have like OCD. Like, well, it's become that kind of thing where it's like
the hardest thing is that if I'll remember your name if we have an experience. Just meeting me, you might have had an experience because you. Here's
because you're amazing and it's such a pleasure to meet you. We know what you're getting at.
No, not at all. But in the same vein, a lot of times we've met people because they've seen something that we made.
No, that is it. And we're not trying to be pompous. That's just what it is. Like,
and we didn't see something that they made. And so it's like, I'd have no reason to connect to you yet. That's why, like, I have a hard time meeting people unless they've seen something I've made. I'm like, Yeah, he's not gonna remember me. I'm just a guy. Like, fucking, who cares?
That's it couldn't be. I mean, Jesus Christ, Martin, do you want to speak on this? Because like he's wearing fluorescent snakes. Yeah, you're very forgettable, Willie.
Both of you guys are extremely memorable because you're both very witty and funny. Funny people are memorable. Dull-witted people are not memorable. That's a fact. This whole thing with the near-death thing is just blowing my mind now because I think I can't accept that it's true, but I'd be a fool if I didn't consider that it would be true because
Well,
Well,
so this sounds like you're facing your mortality, right? Like you're sort of going like, I'm old, you keep saying it, and you're like looking up near
exactly,
death experiences.
exactly,
Um,
exactly. It's like an idiot.
what was your philosophy before getting to this point about the afterlife? And then what do you think it is now if you believe this stuff? Like what is the implication of these people having all these shared experiences?
Well, the word belief is the weird one because
Arrgh!
you only believe things if there's evidence for it. And then you don't really believe it, you just know it's true, right? Just beliefs are ridiculous.
Just flashback to the first time you were on the show, like hating the wow scale because of the word belief.
Sucks.
I can't believe I let it slip,
That's
dude.
why the earth sucks because everybody believes things. One of the greatest things on earth are con men. They rule.
I love that you keep saying that even still, because it's easy to fall down any river of belief, you know? So it's like, fucking, yeah, don't put this word in front of me. I get it.
Okay,
Go on.
okay. When you put it like that, I understand that belief is a very loaded, weird Nazi word, right?
Well, let's just say that
So
it's funny. It's a funny thing rather than that it's a negative. It's funny that people have beliefs, because it's fucking stupid. There's no way to back up a belief.
wait, but
Even
okay.
even science, most science things like change all the time, and I'm like, yes,
Well,
but
but that's the
everyone
whole
believe
point of science, right? Is trying to
current belief.
say this is now the belief, right?
No,
Like,
scientists never say I believe this. They'll say, here's the evidence for this. It's a totally different
well,
thing. It's funny to
nomenclature aside, I just mean like they come up with a hypothesis, they try to prove it. But you're saying, Martin, that
yeah.
you shouldn't even, unless you're a scientist, have a hypothesis because unless you have the conclusion, it's not worth thinking about.
No, I'm just being an idiot saying things like that. The main thing is that I don't believe any of this shit. I don't want to believe in an afterlife at all because it's ridiculous. It's kind of trivializes all of existence. Existence has meaning when it's meaningless. If
I
you're
would
going to go
disagree with you there. I think
to,
if you know that there is an afterlife, you would live a lot harder, right? You'd just be like, yeah, man, like I want to do all those things that I was afraid of because I know that this isn't the end. So, like, fuck it. I'm going to go for it.
you're presupposing that you have beliefs that certain things you can't do.
My parallel to what Wade is saying is, I've lived a life of fear. I'm trying to turn that around, but I'm like,
Sure.
um, if I believed in an afterlife completely fully, it would make me not value this life as much. Like,
That's
oh,
what
the
I'm
next
saying.
one seems better.
That's
That's
what I'm
not,
saying. Oh, this your son is sick. Oh, I'm so sorry. Fuck that. Who cares? We're all gonna. Nobody dies.
but
Sorry
that's
for your
not, but
loss.
that's
He's doing
no,
better.
It's a
no,
slippery slope to not
you
to a lack
guys,
of
you
empathy.
guys,
It's a
no,
slippery slope to having no humanity.
Yes,
it's,
yes.
that is such a cynical thing to say. That means that you think
What?
that nobody values the day that they're living in, that they're always looking for tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. And yes, that is a
No, no,
thing.
no. My
No, that's what
my
you're saying. You're saying if there's an afterlife, that's the tomorrow of life. So how's that any different than just saying like, well, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll
my
care about people tomorrow.
my my parallel of what you're saying, it comes from the history of people thinking that they're going to get rewarded for
Yes.
doing something in this life.
Oh, hang on. Hold everything. Hold everything. I didn't know we were talking about religion and accepted sort of afterlife beliefs. I thought we were talking about real shit.
I know. I'm like, are we talking about me? Or are we talking about what
I
I?
don't give a fuck about a Christian who thinks that they're going to go to heaven. I don't care. I'm talking to us, three smart people who can theorize about what the end of life is like. And I think that it's a video game, and you're gonna get out of it and be like, "Whoa, fucking weird."
And
I'm
Oh,
gonna
and the
do it
last
again.
thing you want to do in a video game is to have the character turn around and be like, "Why'd you turn left?"
Yeah, remember all those choices you made when you were 18 and you turned left? That's what did you in. It's just the most sadistic game. It kind of is. Okay. That's my new thing. Life is a sadistic game. That sounds like I'm a real fucking Nirvana edge lord, but like Martin, I'm just. This is all coming on your thing where you think that
I'm
if
astonished.
there's an afterlife,
I'm
that people.
astonished at the evidence for this absurd premise. And it's troubling to me because it kind of trivializes the world's fucking, highs and lows. And if that's the case, nobody dies, which is absurd. Then this, and all of the drama of life is just meaningless.
But that drama of life was created by someone trying to rule the world. Religion.
I don't co-sign this. I have my own thoughts.
What are they, Wade?
It's what I've been saying the whole time. Like, I don't understand how thinking that there's more of anything would make you not covet what you have currently. Like, if I had $1 million, I wouldn't be like, someone promised me $1 million tomorrow. I wouldn't be like, well, fuck this $1 million. It doesn't mean anything. I would be like, oh, okay, cool. All right. So now I can really utilize this. I can fucking like that. I think
Well,
everyone should believe that there's an afterlife because it means that you're gonna work hard. Work harder is the wrong communist kind of thing, but like just be more present. Maybe I
Yeah,
don't think that death is a motivator for anyone to appreciate life.
that's not the topic we're talking. We're talking about the hypothetical afterlife. That's the whole game changer. If that's real, then it fucks this whole
yeah,
perception of our
yeah.
life
I
up.
mean,
Isn't
my
that
my
what I'm saying though?
Oh, are we saying the same thing? I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying the opposite of you, but I think we're talking about the same thing. Willie, go
yeah,
do your thing.
the weirdest thing that I've encountered in the realm of near death experiences and reincarnation. I don't mean to throw this in here, but it's in the same
Sure.
realm of
Same realm,
like
Why
absolutely. Yeah.
not? Why not?
when people come back with experiences,
Mhm.
it's hard to trust. But
Mhm.
then some people come back with like verifiable evidence, which like blows me away in such a way that I'm like, well, I don't think that in our experience we're supposed to know these things.
Oh,
Otherwise, they would be left over for us. We would
Willie,
we would know.
me, you and Wade had a long conversation on this same show about are we supposed to know
Yeah.
things?
Uh-huh.
And it was adjacent to this topic because what I'm saying is this weird evidence, and even then I cringe using the word evidence for these many stories which have been corroborated by people that died and came back. And by died, I mean flatlined.
So these facts, you could just say facts instead of evidence. These
Okay.
facts, these hard facts that you totally believe in.
Well, evidence is a softer word because
I know,
uh,
I know. So wait, what
facts
about it? What about it? So they're
is a
corroborated.
black and white word, and facts evidence is more that
No, I
evidence.
know. I'm doing the opposite of the thing. I'm doing the opposite. So what about these corroborated uh near death experiences are
I'll
creeping
give
Uh,
you
you
out
some.
or
I'll give you some examples if you're
yeah.
interested.
Let's rock into them.
Some of the most common ones are in operations when people die on the during an operation, and they're brain dead, they're flatlined. There's no brain activity happening, and the person pops out of their body. That's what they say happens, which is impossible, by the way, but
Yeah.
that's what they all say. And so initially, I'm
How
thinking,
can you
okay,
perceive things without what people say they pop out of their body, they see their body, they see the
who's
operating
saying
room?
this?
People that
all
have
of
had
the
near death
people
experiences, yeah.
who had near-death experiences who had
The
operated.
people who came back, that's what they said. They
Yeah, yeah,
popped
yeah.
out of the okay, got it. I thought people were watching it and going like, whoa.
Oh. No, no, no. And
They
so and
popped out
so
of the
and
body.
to add to what he's saying, how does anybody have perceptions without their senses that perceive things?
Of course, it's impossible, right? That's one of the reasons why. How does that work? That can't possibly be true. What do you have? Eyes and ears and as a spirit body? What the fuck? And the answer is yes. That's what they're saying they do. They actually have hands, feet, but they're in a different sort of dimension, whatever that means. But that's what they say. And they say that they're floating over it. They can see their body. They look down at themselves and they have a body, but it's like what? Some kind of weird cartoon invisible thing. This is why it's not believable. But then the reason why it's a challenge is because then they hear everything going on in the room. They see everything that's going on and they hear and they recount it later. And one of the main things is that, oh, my son, what about? And then whoosh, as soon as they think of their son or their daughter, they're right
Yes.
with them.
Yes.
And then they know what type of candy bar they were buying on a vending machine right at that moment. And then they say, "Oh, my brother," and then whoosh, suddenly you're on the plane of the brother flying there to come see you because you're in operation. All, these stories are so many of them, which are impossible. The point is that the person knew what kind of candy bar they bought, and they knew what the brother on the plane was wearing.
That's what I was gonna
Exactly.
say. Yeah. I was
Exactly.
gonna say, like, yeah,
So
you could easily dream any of this shit, but they know specific facts about like
Yeah.
what actually happened, which
first of all,
is
even
unsettling.
oh, I'm so glad to hear you say the U word. That's the beginning of being where I'm at. And I want as many fucking people with me on this horrible place I'm in as I can. And Wade, you're number one. If you actually checked out this shit, which I don't recommend you do, it'll be very unsettling for you.
I unsettling is my summer home. My regular home is anxiety and depression. So I'll take unsettling, man.
I know, right? I'm like, oh, I'd rather think about unsettling things than things that keep me up because I can't. I'm thinking about death again. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, because but that's what's funny about it. It's like every anxiety that we have is like because you might die, right?
yeah,
But then now we have evidence that when you die, it's maybe not.
The problem is this way, and Willie knows this. I am literally a moron. And so when I hear things and I start thinking, oh, this could be true, first thing I think is, I don't even know why I'm alive or anything. I don't even know what math is. I don't know how a radio, I don't know anything. I
Mm-hmm.
just know how to do jokes or, I know how to play a scale. So I don't trust myself because the whole premise of the afterlife is preposterous. It's against everything that I've ever thought or held as true.
what
Okay, but you
scares
just called
me.
yourself a moron. So why are you afraid of the thing that you thought would be real? Because you don't know anything.
I can't depend on myself because I don't think I'm a smart guy. And yet, I certainly can ascertain things from evidence and see, oh, what? How would they know what candy bar they're ordering? And those examples I just gave you later, or how would they know that? And these are only the two examples that I just stuck in my brain because that was the first time when I said,
Yeah,
what? And
yeah.
then I watched literally 800, 900 of these things. And only maybe 40 or 50 of them were ones that they weren't obviously mental people. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Those 40 or 50, that's a lot. And to each one of them to corroborate, it's very unsettling.
To have experiences without my body and my brain. I have a definition of what I think I am, and I know that I'm not right about it. And I know that the experiences that I've had, the moments where I thought I've had so many moments where I thought I was dying
Really?
from anxiety
Oh,
and
I see.
panic attacks and almost drowning a couple times, whatever, just going
Oh,
like just wanting to hold on to it so hard, but I don't even know what it is. And when I hear people having these experiences, we're like, oh, I just felt the most love. It just makes me like second guess it because I'm like, what? You've never experienced these joys that you're trying to describe before. It makes me think that your brain is trying to make death easier for you.
Yeah, it
because
seems
your
like
brain knows it's
it
dying.
Oh,
seems like the brain's
totally.
shutting down, the brain's in charge. But that's why you're right, Willie. And that's why, first of all, it's a big challenge.
The
Just
whole DMT thing, I feel like we on this podcast sort of are like on a two-way street and we keep like flipping from one side to the other.
yeah,
DMT is the chemical that's released from your brain when you die.
yeah.
It's what you guys are talking about. Like, oh, you're dying. Here you go.
The
Here's some
relaxing.
fun hallucinogens. You, unless you did a shitload of acid, you're never going to see
Dude,
anything like
dude,
this.
dude, let's shorten this up. Yes, of course. But what I'm talking about is how did she know the candy bar? How did she know what her brother was wearing? And times 40 or 50 times when they had evidence of these things that are impossible for
Fully
them
on
to
board
do
with
it.
that.
They knew
How do you,
exactly
how
what
do you, I think the question is, how do you explain it? Like, how are you wrapping your head around that?
I'm very troubled and I don't know what
I've got a quick explanation, which is like blowing my mind when I think about the universe and I try to define what I think consciousness is because I want it to be bigger than what I can even fathom.
yeah,
And when we hear about particles reacting differently because we perceive them,
I know the double slit experiment is weird.
yeah, and it makes Schrodinger's cat even too. And I'm like, wow, all of the things that I perceive that I want to perceive, what if they combine upon each other? And that's my consciousness.
Oh,
And so I'll go see everything that I care about, zip, 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 and observe everything that I care about on my way out. Does that even mean that I exist after this moment of me paying attention to everything that it only exists because I paid attention to it? And it makes me go like, oh, is this the whole thing?
yeah.
We all pay attention to each other, so we build on each other. When I look at even these old pharaohs that say, you can't get into the afterlife unless I can open the door for you because I'm your leader. And like if you once you start forgetting my name, I no longer exist. And I'm like, oh, are you trying to explain paying attention to and our consciousness growing upon each other?
Oh, maybe that is a parallel to that. I never thought of that. That's interesting. The
Like
old
that's like a cheat sheet into we all are the same person kind of thing.
more like
Yeah,
a more like the idea of if you don't have attention on yourself, then you don't exist, like the tree in the forest.
it's
If you
like
don't,
it's like a
Oh, I
spider
can
web
tell you
with
right
one
now, you still
string
exist without
versus
any attention on you. You definitely do. I've been alone in my place for like 3 weeks.
I compare it to the spider web of everyone you've interacted with, and
oh,
and the weaker your spider web is, the easier it will be to disintegrate into the vastness of the universe.
the weaker the spider web, the more you easily you dissolve into the universe. The analogy is what? That's your soul. The weaker your
That
soul.
like that like I don't know. I'm just kind of making this up, but
Oh yeah, yeah,
maybe my consciousness grows stronger as I connect to others. And
yeah.
maybe that's what we're
Oh,
supposed to do is have this connectivity because the universe only uh uh the universe knows when you're paying attention to it. And it's a two-way street.
What about this? I got a new one. I think like what you're saying, Willie, is connectivity. It's kind of like being in Hollywood. Like the more people you know, the better your career
Just
is going to go.
popularity. That's all I'm talking about.
It's just kind of like connecting. But that's kind of what I'm saying. So you die and you think about these connections you have, right? That's where you started. Like, oh, I think about like my family and like you didn't say me at all, which is fine. I mean, but
I will to backtrack and defend you. I feel like you're my only friend now. Like no one
I feel
reaches
like
out to
that
me.
too.
I don't talk
We
to anybody.
me and you we're our only friends. We got to fucking stick it out, man.
you guys are both very friendly people. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, we have no friends.
Well,
None of we don't have any friends.
we
Everybody
used to,
knows
yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, they know us. I don't want to get a
They-
beer with people who know me. Anyway, all I'm saying is, what about this? What about this? Reincarnation 2. All right. I'm folding it all in together. You die, you get reincarnated, you have those same connections with those other people. All your synapses are still there if you learned. And the whole point is to die so many times that you've made so many connections with other people, like a fucking fungus, right? That eventually it'll surround the earth and we will all be connected. And I'm not talking Borg shit like same mind thing. I'm just saying
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we're all connected. We can all feel all this
When
shit.
I have you heard of soul families?
Sure.
In the realm
I
of
haven't.
reincarnation, some people think that you keep running into the same souls because the your
Yeah.
magnetism draws you to meet them in all of your lives.
Like
And
when we were on feudal Japan, we were like samurais together.
yeah. And so like when you meet there are definitely people when I meet them, I'm like, oh, I fucking know this person.
Yeah,
I
same
can
with
make
me.
them
Well,
laugh.
you kind of
We
get
can
that anyway with every person. You just kind of go like, I you don't even have to talk to them. You can kind of look at them and see how they act and be like, yeah, I'm gonna be friends with that guy, or
Yeah,
I'm gonna talk to that guy, right?
right.
I've definitely been wrong a lot, and I love being wrong. Um,
Dude, there's nothing better than realizing that a person is not worth your time. I
uh,
I was in the break room today and like there's this guy and I'm like, I don't know what this guy is. Like he's like definitely older than you, Martin, and we're in the same
Oh, wow.
place, right? And so like he's even a more of a failure than I am. And I'm like, I don't know. And then he like we're waiting for coffee and he like wants to get a cup out of the cupboard and it's like, well, when we get our coffee you can get your. I'm sorry, I sound like my mom talking about work right now, but really I just realized like, oh, this guy's like a moron and I never have to think about him ever again. Like
It's
he
true. It's true.
doesn't exist.
That's we all experience that for sure. Okay, this guy I'm definitely going to ignore and not put in my thoughts anymore.
Not even for a nefarious or vehement
not
or
even
or
for
negative
material.
way, just like he's just a fucking guy.
What do they call them in video? What do they call them in video games? They do the
NPCs.
NPCs,
I
yeah,
almost
that's
said
right.
that, but yes,
non-playable
exactly
characters.
that.
Right.
I have a friend who I became such good friends with, and I always used to. And I've told her too many times. I'm like, "There's no." I thought there was no way we were going to be friends, and I'm like, "Oh, I got to watch how I say that because like I was so judgmental to be like, I'm not going to be fucking friends with her," and we became really good friends.
Well, usually with women, when you say I never thought we'd ever be friends, it's because you feel like she's too great that would ever even pay attention to you. You know, that's usually what that's with guys, you know.
Yeah,
It was a sketch writing class, and I didn't think she was funny.
Oh, that's bad. That's rough.
but you still
Bad.
liked her.
Well, we became great friends.
Oh,
She
you
can have
became
a,
friends.
she can have a good heart and just not be good at comedy. I mean, that's totally normal, right?
Listen, you're not a piece of shit if you're not good at comedy. You're not less than us. You're just not as good as us.
I know. Look, I know that you're trying to be funny, and that's there's reward in that.
It's very cute. I
It's a
like that you're
very,
trying.
but it's so funny for comedy people. That is the ultimate uncomfortable place. I mean, that's a number 12. That's way up there for discomfort. Someone who's trying to be funny and you just know they just don't have it, and it's not going to be happening within the before you're dead. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a
And it
very
sucks though when they're actually very successful because it's like, well, actually, your comedy doesn't matter. The business matters more than the comedy.
Oh my God.
oh, that's
If I knew someone who I considered a hack and then we came up together and then they were more successful than me, I would be dead. I would be dead. I would kill myself.
well, you know what? I think that that's irrelevant because we've all known in ourselves, true, if you're honest about it, we were all at one period hacks.
Hacks.
Our
Yeah.
minds didn't have the connection yet. We didn't understand
I I gotta disagree with you again because like,
Well,
uh,
maybe you
uh,
were not like me.
no,
So
no, no. Let me just explain.
so
No,
many comedians that so many,
finish your point.
the only other part of it is that I definitely, when I look over my old stuff, I'm thinking, what the fuck? Oh, I see. I was a hack. And that's when I was young. And then I remember so many times with comedians that I started off with, in over the past 40 years, were terrible. But they were nice guys, and we were all trying, and we're laughing and supporting each other, but not good, not good. And and then they became fucking not good. They became great. I mean, some of the
Yeah.
greatest comedians in the world became, and I saw them when they started not being funny. It isn't really that if you're not funny, that's it.
I mean,
Well,
listen, I was gonna make a joke about George Carlin, but can you like name drop one of these guys that you actually came up with who's
Yeah, but
big?
every single guy that I know, except for Steve Wright, had hack material when they started. He was very unique. He was funny in an enormously advanced way from the first time he was on
yeah,
stage.
he was my favorite comedian for decades.
For the listeners, we're talking about Stephen Wright. We call him Steve because we're all buddies.
So that was unusual, though.
That's hindsight, right? I listen.
Yeah,
I look at
hindsight.
my old stuff and I'm mortified, but I don't think
Yeah,
I was a hack at the time. I think it was still funny for my age group at the time. I think it was making my friends and peers laugh.
we're saying the same thing. That's exactly correct. It's an
Okay.
evolution.
At
Well,
what age does it stop?
well, that's a crazy thing
Like
about
Steve Martin,
comedians
at
and
what
writers
point
in
was
all
he like, no
realms.
arrows in
Yeah,
the head? I don't have it anymore. I don't
I'll just act now.
know.
It's like you're trying to find things that make you laugh and trying to express that, you know. And so
Right.
that when you're trying to search for, it's not like you're trying to find your voice because it's like, hey man, I just want to say what's funny. But
Yeah,
when that connects to everyone else, that's when
that's right.
Don't you think this all ties into the world and seeing the guy eat the Snickers bar on the plane when you're on your deathbed? Like how does this all connect? It must in some way. It
Well,
simply must just for the format of
three,
the show.
the three of us, that's very noble of you. We're all comedy people, so we naturally would be going talking about that for fun because it's funny. But the disturbing thing is about the evidence, and there's. I just would say if you're interested, I would not recommend it to you, especially to you, Wade. Willie, I think it would be just as good for you as me. It's very disturbing seeing all of this evidence. But then again, I didn't call up or write to the person's family or son to have it that corroborated that way.
Forget if it's factual or not. I want to know what it makes you feel. You know, like
yeah, because for how many times someone's like beliefs get in the way of their description of what's going on. Yeah, forget all that. But like, what are the things that you connect to in the realm of connecting to this? And for me, right off the bat, I'm just like, well, it definitely brings me at peace to know that the anxiety of my life dying might not, I don't need to worry so much about it, you
Yeah,
know?
right.
Like take it, just fucking relax. If I'm supposed to have an experience here and have the most fullest experience,
Yeah.
I should not be worrying about it ending. Even though and like part of it is maybe it's ego, but I do love myself and I do love the life that I've lived
That's because
and
you're a
the
great
ups
guy.
and downs. I'm so happy with the people that I've met. And then
Hmm.
years go by and I don't mean to bring this down. It just makes me laugh going
no,
like, well,
keep going because I
I
think I'm with you.
I
Yeah.
can go for years and years and years with people not reaching out to me, but me going like, well, I want to reach out to them. Well, I'm not either.
Hmm.
So whatever. I'm just saying, like, I'm in a moment right now where I'm like, I get it. I've I've snuck away with my family and
It's,
like people don't reach out to me anymore. But I get so emotional about this because my heart lies with everyone I've had a great experience with. And I will never forget the great experiences that I've had. And I
right.
will never like drop them. I'm like, dude, I'm just as happy to see someone that I haven't seen in a decade, and that's why I'm afraid to die because like I cherish the moments I've had with people.
Man, I'm ready to die. I'm worried about getting old. Like I Martin, I want to ask you this because it has
Hmm.
nothing to do with you being old. This is something I thought about before I said that quip, that
Or it does.
very genius quip.
Hmm.
Every stage of my life, I thought, oh, these are my best friends and we're going to know each other forever. And then, like, I get a little separation from them, not for any reason. So I loved my college friends, right? And I moved to LA and now I met all these LA friends and like, I don't like the college friends any less, but I'm
Yeah.
more like just like vibing with these guys. And then they kind of go away because like, that's what happens. And now I'm at the point where it's like me and Willie, we have no friends anymore because everyone has moved on. And so I'm wondering, did that happen to you? And did you have this similar kind of like, this is the best part of my life at every part of your life?
I think because I forget things, I block out the bad stuff. And I think we all do that, but I think that I do that. So I can't really bring to mind the bad times. I can remember I've had a super good life for sure.
Yeah,
But
you
the
never
other thing,
even had a near death experience.
but the other thing is the three of us ended up uh, being alive in a time where the biggest social experiment in connectivity, which is the internet, happened. So as a result of that, we're much more in touch with people back in the old countries, let's say,
Yeah.
than other people would be in the old Wild West or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit different for us, and certainly we're connected much more than people before the internet.
But you personally, did you have the feeling that like this is the best part of my life?
Did that keep happening?
I remember the time I felt most happy, I guess it would be. I just because it was so incredibly, I was saying, wow, I am the luckiest guy.
If you don't say the birth of your daughter, you're gonna get fucking skewered on Twitter.
It was my wedding. And it was just walking. It was like all my friends were there. It was like unfucking believable. I said, oh my God, I must be doing all right. I'll never forget that. It was the happiest
Yeah.
because it was so extended and it was such a fun, happy, hilarious time. And everybody flew out for it. We were in San Francisco and we had like a crazy Irish band and everybody was dancing and singing the old songs. It just was the greatest. So certainly I remember that, but I don't think I remember. I think I block out the bad ones. And I'm lucky that I block it out, I think.
I just wonder now that me and Willie are friendless. It's a weird thing that we're hitting over and over again, but like I'm so
But we're
glad you
both
said that,
like,
Willie, because I feel the same
yeah,
way. Um,
we're both experiencing it at the same time.
like I'm wondering, like, because I don't have a family, am I gonna be that weird fucking guy who's just old and has no connections? So like my neighbors are gonna be like, that fucking old weird guy. I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. Is he dead yet? You know what I mean? Like, is that my life now?
Well,
Like
you have a cat, right?
for now,
Yeah, so the cat
cats.
will eat you when you die. So
I mean, that's my hope.
yeah, I'd agree. That would be my hope too.
Listen, we have to wrap it up, but we're gonna continue the conversation on our bonus. Go to patreon.com/relay sci-fi for the bonus. I don't know, Martin, if you're enjoying yourself, but I love this and I
Me
just want to
too.
keep it going.
Totally. I miss you guys. I haven't seen you in so long.
God damn it, let's get a drink. Plugs or shout outs or anything.
I'll plug my book, which is Encyclopedia of Hell 2, The Conquest of Heaven. It's a fantasy sci-fi book about demons and
Willie's
God.
got it. Willie's
get your
got it. It's
copy,
on
The
camera.
Conquest of Heaven. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you.
I got one too. Thank you. I could go grab it, but Willie, anything?
That was fun, you guys.
Uh,
Thanks. Thank you very much.
yeah.
Hey, it's not over. It's not over. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, Willie Bad Movies on Instagram. Follow that. I'm hoping to expand whatever that means.
Oh, good.
I just want to tell everyone to look out for Jake Steed He's coming. He's coming. We're gonna fucking promo the shit out of it. Martin,
Yeah.
we made a movie. Did you
No,
know that?
no, get out. Did you really?
Yeah, what you knew that? Yeah,
No,
we made a movie.
I
We're
didn't.
editing it now, or I am, but then now I have a job and I can't anymore. But anyway, I don't know.
I
Fucking,
got to
I
see
don't know.
this. Are you kidding? Oh my God.
I'll send you a cut. I'll send you a cut if you want to give me notes.
Well, yeah, please do. I would love to.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. And remember, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you. Bye.
See you.
Real life sci-fi.